Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the iFunds Half-Year Investor Call. We are delighted to have you all. And before we get started, I would like to introduce everyone. To start with, I would like to introduce our CEO, Mr. Faiz Arab.
Hello, hi. Good afternoon, guys. I'm Faiz. Welcome to our investor call this evening. I'd like to get the team introduced to you guys once again. So maybe we can start with Marianne.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marianne Odhiambo, and I'm the fund administrator.
Good afternoon. My name is Azan, and I'm the fund investment analyst.
Good afternoon. My name is Winfrida Makur, and I'm the head of marketing, brand, and communications.
Good morning. My name is Ali, and I'm into.
Hi, everybody. My name is Samir, and I'm the head of client relations.
Good evening. My name is James Leo. I'm the IT officer.
My name is Francis Sanki. I'm the fund accountant.
All right. After the brief introduction, our agenda for the day will be a welcome note from the CEO, an introduction to the iDollar Fund and the iFunds performance. And then after that, we'll invite everyone for a brief Q&A. We'd also like to mention that you can ask your questions anytime throughout the presentation, and we will respond to them or wait up to the end to respond to them. So please feel free to use the chat to do so. Welcome, Mr. Faiz Arab.
Thank you. Thank you, Winnie. Once again, firstly, I would like to thank all our investors to joining this call. On behalf of our board, I would like to again thank you guys for being on this call and also being part of iTrust. So quickly getting started, this is our second investor call for the iFunds and our unit trust funds that we have. So introducing today, I think in our last meeting, I said, please stay tuned, see we have something new upcoming. And now we have our iDollar fund, which has joined the family of our funds that we have. Now, iDollar fund is one of the first dollar or multi-currency funds in Tanzania. So technically, we are a pioneer of this in Tanzania, and it has been opened on the 8th of this month, and we are closing on the 25th. So if you haven't subscribed to the iDollar fund, I think now is the time. So just a bit of a brief on how this fund works in terms of the functionalities and who are our partners in this fund. So starting off with our regulator, obviously Capital Markets and Security Authorities is our regulator on this fund. Our trustee and custodian is CRDB Bank. The legal advisors for this fund is Vertex Law, and the auditors are PwC. So a bit of an update on how this what kind of fund this is. This is a USD money market fund, which is quite similar to our iCash, but this is obviously in a foreign currency in Tanzania, in the US dollar currency. The minimum investment for this fund is $1,000, right? Subsequently, you can invest $100. The beauty is there's no entry or exit fee, right? The transaction or the redemption for this fund is transaction plus 5 working days. There is a lock-in period, though, of 90 days or 3 months. Now, this fund is benchmarked with the Tanzanian bank's weighted average USD fixed deposit rate. And another good news is that this is also a tax-free fund. So you can invest your USD now into our funds and enjoy the good returns that we are going to be providing, opposed to the other assets that you can buy in USD. Now, the reason why we are here today is obviously the performance of these funds, right? I would like to hand over to Mr. Francis here, who is going to take you through our funds performances since inception to June. This is our half-year results. So, Francis, please welcome.
Thank you, Faiz. So I'm going to speak on the performance of our 5 funds from inception when they started in December 2024 up to June 2025. So I'll start with iCash Fund. iCash Fund, as you may already know, it's our money market fund. It invests in treasury bills, call deposits, and short-term bonds. So the benchmark for iCash Fund is the 364-day treasury bill. As you can see on the right, the fund has been outperforming its benchmark. So far, the fund has a return of 6.56%. Compared to its benchmark, it's 5.83%. When you annualize that, it's 11.45 compared to the 10.19% of the benchmark. So the outperformance is due to the underlying assets of the fund. They've been performing well. As you can see, majority of the fund is in treasury bonds. These are short-term and medium-term bonds. And there is also an element of high-quality corporate bonds. So right now, the fund has really improved in terms of both AUM and the net asset value. The AUM is now, as of 30th of June, of course, it's 27.7 B. This is a 116% increase since when we started at 12 billion. And also the NAV is now at 106.5569. This is a 6.56% increase since when we started at a price of 100. Yeah, so in our next fund, iGrowth Fund. iGrowth Fund is a balanced fund. It invests in long-term treasury bonds and as well as listed equities. The fund is for people who prefer moderate risk and those who prefer to invest for long periods. So iGrowth Fund has also its own benchmark. Its benchmark is a composite of the 5-year treasury bond and the TSI index. So far the fund has been performing really well. It has a return of 20.84% since inception, compared to its benchmark, which has a 5.66%. Now, annualizing is 36.39% compared to 9.88%. So these are very decent returns, and as you can see, the returns are due to the underlying assets. For iGrowth Fund, these are the stocks, the equities, and the treasury bonds. So iGrowth's performance is due to very high performing stocks like CRDB and NMB, and as well as the treasury bonds. They have really high yields, so it's been attributing to the performance of the fund. So the fund, as of 30th of June, has an AUM of 45.9%. This is a 158% increase from 17.8 billion when we started. And also the NAV, as of end of June, it's 120.8385, which is a 20.84% increase. Yeah, so in our next fund, which is Iman Fund. Iman Fund is our Sharia compliant fund. It provides unit holders with potential for capital appreciation. It invests in Sukuk bonds and Sharia compliance equities. So Iman Fund also has its own benchmark, which is the Islamic Windows of /banks fixed deposit rates. So compared to its benchmark, Iman Fund has performed really well. It has greatly outperformed because it has a return of 23.29% since its inception, compared to its benchmark, which is 5.01%. Annualizing is 40.67% compared to 8.75% of the benchmark. So our performance is due to the underlying assets, the equities, such as Trigger Cement, which have been performing really well. Also, a portion has been invested in the Zanzibar Sukuk, as well as other Sukuks which are in the market. So, as you can see from the allocation, 54% is in Sukuks, as well as 40% is in equities. So the fund has also improved. It stands at an AUM of 8.37% as of end of June, which is a 55.45% from when we started at 5 billion. The NAV also has increased greatly to 123.2852, which is a return of 23.29%. Coming to our next fund, which is iIncome Fund. iIncome Fund is a fixed income fund. It invests in long-term and medium-term treasury bonds. It's prepared for people who are low risk and wish to invest for long periods. The benchmark for iIncome Fund is 5-year treasury bond. Compared to its benchmark, it's also outperformed the benchmark. As you can see, the return is 7.41% since inception, compared to its benchmark, which is 6.13%. Annualizing, it's 12.93% compared to 10.7% of the benchmark. So the outperforming is, of course, due to the assets, the medium and long-term treasury bonds, which, as you can see from the allocation, is 99% of the fund. So the iIncome Fund also, the AUM has also increased. It's 12.31 billion, which is a 6.02% increase from when we started. The NAV is also at 107.406 as at end of June, which is a 7.41% increase. So coming to our next fund, ISAF Fund. ISAF Fund is also a fixed income fund. It invests in long-term treasury bonds. It's mainly for people who prefer low risk and investing for long periods. The benchmark for ISAF Fund is the 10-year treasury bond. For ISAF Fund, the fund has been close to its benchmark. It's performing 6.86% since inception, compared to the benchmark of 7.29%. Annualizing is 11.98 compared to 12.74. So we expect this fund to keep improving and hence beat its benchmark. So as you can see from the allocation, the treasury bonds are 97% of the fund, which are basically the long-term treasury bonds, 20 to 25 years. The AUM for the fund is 9.14 billion as of end of June. This is an increase of 225% since we started at 2.8 billion. And the NAV is at 106.8575 as of end of June, which is a return of 6.86%. Yeah, so this is a performance update because the previous numbers were as of end of June, but as of yesterday, these are the NAVs for each fund and also the AUM's fund. So as you can see for iCash, the NAV is 107.0538, showing a return of 7.05% since inception. And it now has an AUM of 29.42 billion. For iIncome Fund, the NAV is 107.956 with a 7.96% return, and it now has a 12.77 billion. iGrowth Fund has an NAV of 127.5855 with a return of 27.59%, and its AUM is now 60.75 billion. Iman Fund, which is our leading performer, has an NAV of 134.3443, which is a return of 34.34% since inception. The AUM is now 16.35 billion. iSafe Fund has an NAV of 107.4148, which is a return of 7.41%. The AUM is currently 9.08 billion. So the total AUM as it stands is 128.38 billion.
We'd like to thank you, Francis and Base, for giving us that brief. And now we would like to invite anyone for questions. Please feel free to ask them in the chat. Okay, we've received a question that first one is, what is an NAV? Welcome, Francis.
Thank you. So NAV is basically the price of a unit of the fund. So as I was saying, for example, in iCash, the NAV is 106.55, which means that's the price for a single unit in the fund.
All right, we hope that clarified it. We also have a question regarding the iDollar fund. Before I read it, I'll just like to let you know, Vinny, that on Friday, we have a specific webinar on the iDollar fund, an introduction to it and its characteristics. But in the meantime, we can answer this question, which reads, what is the asset allocation for the iDollar fund? Francis, would you like to take that?
Yeah, so for the iDollar fund, because we are still in IPO phase, once we close the IPO, we'll do the necessary allocations to purchase the assets for the fund. So we expect to invest in a variety of instruments like call deposits, fixed deposits, and also bonds, corporate bonds. So once the fund is in operation, we'll be able to give you a precise allocation for the iDollar fund.
Okay, thank you. We have another question that reads, do you invest in real estate, REIT, as funds allocations?
So our funds are investing only in capital markets. So we do not invest in real estate. We just invest in capital markets and the instruments such as shares and bonds and other instruments which are approved by CMSA.
Thank you. We have another question. The CEO mentioned an ending date for investing in the iDollar fund. After the IPO is closed, will new investors be able to join at a later date? If so, when?
Okay, so we're opening for 3 weeks. That was from 8th of this month till the 25th. Then we'll be closed for 2 weeks. So it means no one can, we would not allow any new purchases, contributions or redemptions. Then after that, we'll have a 3-month lock-in period. So after we have the 2-week close, we'll open on 12th of August, where now anyone can be able to subscribe in the fund.
Thank you, Marianne. We also have another question. Are there historical NAVs for the funds? Where can I get those for personal analysis?
So the historical NAVs for the funds can be found in the website. Once you go to the website and you click on iFunds, you can be able to see the historical NAVs for each fund from the date we began operations.
Okay, thank you. As we are waiting for other questions, oh, we actually have one. Looking at the current bonds market traded, will it affect the benchmark set for the iCash income? If yes, what minimum are we looking at? Looking at the current bonds market traded, will it affect the benchmarks for the iCash income? iCash income?
Yeah, so I think from the question is if depending on how the market changes with regards to the bonds, how will it affect the benchmarks which we have set for iCash, iIncome, maybe, and iSave, because their benchmarks are related to the bonds market. So of course, funds can also be the returns, they are not constant. They can also improve when the market also improves in terms of the bond markets. Because, for example, a fund like iSave fund, its benchmark is the 10-year bond. But as returns improve for the bonds market, that means the fund's returns will also improve. So consistently, we can be able to beat our benchmarks which we have set.
Okay, and I think those are two-parter. The second part is if yes, then what minimum are we looking at?
Okay, I'm not sure what we.
If it will be.
So the minimum for our returns is based on the primary market options. So the benchmark performance that you're seeing is based on the results from the primary market options that is hosted by BOT on a weekly basis.
Thank you. And then we also have another iDollar fund question. What will the iDollar fund benchmark be?
So the dollar fund benchmark is going to be dollar fixed deposit rates from commercial banks in Tanzania.
Okay. Thank you. For new iGrowth funds, what is the low margin for the account? I guess this is for new iGrowth funds client or subscribers. What is the low margin for the account?
The minimum investment?
Um,
Done.
The lowest yield? Maybe if you can clarify the question.
sorry, Colivas, Jamal, may you please clarify your question? In the meantime, Benny had also asked, do you anticipate any equities being part of the asset allocation of the iDollar fund?
iDollar fund is a money market. So we'll specifically be investing in money market and short-term fixed income securities. We do not anticipate in purchasing any equities. If an investor would prefer to invest in a fund that has shares, we'd recommend them to invest primarily in iGrowth or Iman.
Okay.
Hi. Can I just add a small matter on the question that was raised in terms of REITs? I think REITs are not available in our market currently, and we at iTrust have not launched any REITs. So our current funds are all capital market instrument funds. No REIT exists. And in terms of the bond market, as was explained, I think the bond market, we are benchmarking against the bonds issued in the primary market by the government. And once those bonds are issued, they go into the benchmark. And I think the performance of the funds have been benchmarked against that performance. And as for iDollar, I think what we can say is that there may be a lockup period, but there is a reason why there is a lockup period, because the lockup period's importance is to allow for the fund to start investing. And because we are investing in a foreign currency, we did not want to create any volatility in terms of flows. So that is why iDollar has, different from all the other fund, has a lockup period of 3 months for any initial investments. And after that, I think what will follow is investors will be able to buy in and redeem, and the redemption period is T+5. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. We have two similar questions, which I would like to direct to Mr. Faisal. These are similar. From Eva, it says, are there any plans for an app? And then we also have a question from Anna Mwacha. Will you be launching an app anytime soon?
Thank you, Vinny. Thank you for the question. So to answer that question, yes, we are definitely in that journey of our digital transformation. So please stay tuned to iTrust. We are going to come up with something very soon. So yeah, let's see. It might be it's definitely an app, definitely a digital platform. A lot of in our dollar fund, I did announce that we will be launching a couple of platforms for you to invest with ease. So please stay tuned to us. If you're not part of iTrust's portfolio or you haven't had an investment with iTrust, please stay tuned to our social media. You will be seeing all these updates on our social media. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. We have another question. How can I invest in the iDollar fund?
I think we do have a webinar on Friday, Winfrida. So obviously, if you want to invest with our iDollar fund, you can do it in a couple of ways. You can go to our website, get in touch with us, call us, email us, or you're most welcome to come to our offices and get your accounts opened. It's a pretty easy process, and you can start investing now. In terms of once you get your account open, you can transfer the money into the dollar account and get your units obviously after the 25th once the funds are closed.
Thank you, Faith. Another question is, any specific considerations for diaspora customers?
The fund targets everyone, include local investors and diaspora. We'll just need you to open an account with us, provided you have a bank account that you have opened in TZ. We can be able to accept investments from wherever.
Thank you. Another question is my investment funds safe if the market crashes? So I'm guessing this is my investment in the funds safe if the market crashes?
I think this to Professor.
Yeah, I think there are two elements here. One is safety from in terms of the regulatory structure. These funds are basically have a trustee custodian, which is in this particular case NBC for our currently operating 5 funds, and in the new fund iDollar is CRDB. So that at least the safety of the assets in terms of the assets themselves are with the custodian trustee. The second element is market. Now, our funds and all of our funds are not subject to every kind of risk in the market. Market risk exists in terms of price movements. So different funds have different kind of risk profiles. So I'll give you an example of a fund like iCash. It is very short-term, liquid, mostly government, short-term government bonds, some corporate bonds, high-quality corporate bonds. We are talking about NMB bonds, CRDB bonds, NBC bonds. And then you're looking at mostly fixed deposits. So in that particular case, price movements are extremely small. Those funds hold their bonds to maturity, so they are accrual. The accrual. They're not necessarily bonds that are just being held to maturity, and they are being accounted for through an accrual system, accrual method. And when you look at the equities now, equities, you have seen the performance of Iman Fund and you've seen the performance of iGrowth. Those two funds have extremely high growth or performance, mainly because the share prices have gone up. So when we are talking about a market crash, generally in finance, we consider something to be called a market crash if the prices drop by over 20%, at least 20%. Otherwise, we just call it a correction. So if prices drop 10%, we call it a correction. If prices drop 1 or 2%, those are just minor movements. But if you drop 10%, it's a correction. If you drop over 20%, then you have at least some kind of a market crash. But usually, crash also requires that prices collapse suddenly. We do not expect that. Our market in Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange is quite well run. We see the macro environment as being very stable. So we are not actually worried, or at least exceptionally worried about anything like that. But yes, prices can fluctuate. And yes, those funds' performance can go up and down. Just like they have gone up, they can also come down. But generally speaking, the securities listed on the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange are still very cheap. The PE ratios are generally, for the banks, for example, around 5 PE. And this is really very, very cheap when you consider the ROE levels and the growth rate the banks, particularly NMB and CRDB, are delivering to investors, and the dividend yields that we see in the market. So we're not really concerned much about big market corrections, but small corrections can happen, and those are normal for long-term investors. What we argue to all investors is when you consider a balanced fund, be a long-term investor. Do not invest for the short term. Do not look at 1 month or 2 months. When you invest in iGrowth, you should be looking at a horizon of 3-year, 5-year, maybe even 10 years. That is the best way to invest in a fund that contains equities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. We have another question. can Tanzanian shillings be transferred to the iDollar fund and converted by you, the company, or into another account and internally exchanged into dollars and converted into our funds?
Short answer, absolutely not. We do not do any kind of conversions. The fund is a dollar fund. Investors have to have their dollars in their bank account. You have to have a dollar bank account, and you have to invest through your dollar bank account, and you get your returns in dollars to the same bank account. We do not do any kind of conversion, and for iDollar, we do not receive any form of shillings. We do not have an inflow account. In fact, our custodian doesn't even have an inflow account, and a subscription account, which is shilling account. So iDollar is only open to investors who already have dollars, who are investing their dollars to get a return, and who will be paid their return back in dollars to the bank account that they have. So we do not move money and exchange outside the banking system. You invest through the bank, and we pay you back to the bank.
Thank you, Prof. I think this has also answered Vinny's question, which said, are payments in TZ shillings into the dollar fund acceptable, or is it dollar to dollar? So I think that has also been addressed. Another question is, can you please?
Yes, I think that, Winnie, that is correct, and it's dollar to dollar. And also, the only thing I will note is that the fees, when we have auditors and advisors, the management fee and other fees will be paid in shillings. So the dollar fund, the only time it does is it will sell a small amount of dollars to settle the fees, because in Tanzania, the regulations currently require that all billing and invoicing be done in Tanzanian shillings, and iDollar will be compliant with that.
Thank you, Prof. We have another question, one from Victor, one from Vinny, but I think they relate to one another. Can you please touch on minor accounts for persons below 18? What is the process behind account creation for them? And then the next one, which is also related to that, is when will access to the platform or website for minors be available? So the first one is, what's the process behind account creation for?
If account for minors can be opened as far as the parent of the guardian enters the account till the child is 18 and above. Also, another thing to note over here is the minor has to have a bank account as well in his minor's name. The minor is able to open the account handled by the guardian.
Thank you, Samia. And then the next part to that is, when will access to the platform or website for minors be available?
Access to the minor, we are working on some details around it. We will get in touch with you all for access to the minor portfolio very soon.
Thank you, Samia. And then related to that as well, for account opening, what is the process of opening corporate accounts?
Okay, so there are a few ways to open your corporate account, and then one are the hard copy forms which are available on our website, or if you digitally fill out the corporate account form. If you go on our website, itrust.co.tz, you go to application forms, scroll down, go to corporate, and you have to have supporting documents, the IDs of signatories, certificate of incorporation, board resolution, and copy of team certificate. Once that is uploaded, you can submit and your account can be opened within 24 hours.
Thank you, Samia. As we are waiting for more questions, I would just like to remind everyone that on Friday, we will send out emails and post on our social media platform that this Friday at 4 p.m., we will have a session on the iDollar fund. So if you have further questions, please feel free to join the session, get to know more about the iDollar fund, and ask as many questions as possible. But in the meantime, we are accepting more questions. We'll give it a few more minutes to see if there's anything else with regards to the performance of the funds for the past, since inception up to June. Thank you, Idris. You have the question that states, are these funds expected to be terminated after a certain number of years?
No, so the funds are intended for long-term periods. They do not have a defined number of years. So we're not there. There is no certain number of years for the funds to be terminated.
I think Idris, together with everyone else, is excited to hear that. And then we have another question. Can you explain what is minor account, please? I didn't understand it well. Samia?
Minor accounts can account for individual who's 18 years and below the legal age of 18. So anyone who's 18 and below is considered as minor. 18 and above is an individual. And
Can you tell us more maybe about how the account opening process is? Who manages the account?
so for a minor who's 18 and below, the account will be opened by a parent or a guardian. We will require the parents' information, such as the ID, their main contact details and stuff, and also they will have to provide the picture and birth certificate for the minors. So until the minor is 18 years of age, the account will be managed by the parent or guardian.
Thank you. And then we also have another question. Are there plans for international markets exposure in the near future?
So yes, on this, as of right now, for our 6 funds, we are just investing locally. So depending on, we will see. We cannot currently we do not have such plans, but we will. So we can see in the near future.
So Victor, continue following us for more updates. You can never know. We welcome more questions. All right, Shahid, thank you. It says, congratulations to the iTrust team. Excellent work done and great support from the team, especially from Samia and Marianne. May God bless you all. Thank you very much, Shahid. May God bless you as well. And then Triple Q says, can you share the fund allocations?
So as far as allocations are concerned, on a monthly basis, we create a fund fact sheet that is published on our website and shared to all our clients. In those fact sheets, you will see what the asset allocation is like on a monthly basis. Because we buy assets and sell assets on a monthly basis, on a daily basis, they can update on a day-to-day basis. But in order for investors to keep track, we do show the allocations on a monthly basis.
Thank you. This is not a funds-related question. However, I have listed iTrust as my broker in DSE app. Does it mean I can buy shares through DSE app and reflect it on my iTrust account?
Idea. No, I think the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange app, if you are buying, if your account is with you're buying shares through the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, so you do buy the shares to us, but your LDM is not with us. So you will have to get in touch with us, open your account with us for your shares and funds to reflect on the iTrust platforms for us to give you better service.
All right, thank you, Faith. We also have a question from Idris. Will there be any physical seminars we can attend anytime soon? Or maybe a meet and greet, stand or booth? Preferably when there isn't any pickleball tournaments going on. Thank you, Idris.
So yes, it is. I think. Look, we welcome all our clients also to our offices, right? The idea is to get iTrust known. So you're most welcome if you have any questions. You need a physical someone to talk to you directly. If you want to know more about us, or if you have a small group to come and do a group personal financing kind of just a meet and greet, and us to give you some advice, or maybe get some advice from us in terms of what to invest, what kind of products do we have, what products would match you in terms of your risk profile, your age profile. So we can do, we welcome everyone, whoever is interested. If you want to do it through our digital platforms, absolutely. If you want to come and visit us, also you're most welcome to come and see us as well.
Thank you, Faith. We have another question that Triple Q has. I think it relates back to when they asked, can you share the fund allocations? They add, does it show allocations, snapshots in each company? I think this is in each fund.
So as far as the exact allocations in each company, those will be disclosed in our annual statement on a yearly basis.
And then they continue, I mean the exposure in each stock.
Yes, so the exposure in each stock and the exact asset allocation will be in our annual statements.
I think generally to answer Triple Q in a little bit more detail is that breakdowns of exact assets that we are buying at any time as a fund manager, those we do not disclose because those are market sensitive information. As Azan mentioned, they're going to be disclosed in our annual reports. So I think Triple Q, you will see that on the annual basis in the annual report of 2025. But in the meantime, because the funds are constantly protecting the investors, the unit holders, investments, we actually do not disclose individual stocks that the funds could be buying or the funds could be selling. Those are not disclosed, but we do disclose the allocations in terms of asset classes. So the asset class allocation, how much in bonds, how much in corporate bonds, government bonds, how much in equities, those, and how much in cash or fixed deposits, those are given in the monthly fact sheets.
We also have another question. So a technical issue here. Is there any other transactions channel apart from Tigo and NBC to fund my account?
So we are definitely looking into some more partners in terms of investing and kind of doing collection accounts for you to invest at ease. So the likes of all the telcos will be part of this, and almost all the banks will be part of collection accounts, hopefully soon. But for now, we have NBC and Tigo, which has been activated. We are already in discussion with the other telcos. So this will be coming very soon. So it'll be much easier for you to use if you're using any of the network or any other telco, you can invest through that onto the iTrust funds.
Thank you, Faith.
I think to add to what the CEO mentioned, sorry, we need to add to what the CEO mentioned. As you get when you are using our portals, you get your control number and you also get the account number. So each fund has its own account, and you can transfer money into that account from any source, from any bank in Tanzania or mobile company. So even if you are with a bank that is who doesn't have a direct collection account, once you have the bank account, because the custody bank accounts are all available on the website, and you can do a bank transfer and just upload your proof of payment. I think maybe Faze, you can add if there is anything else.
Thank you, Prof. I think you put it rightfully, Prof. I think, yes, you can transfer from anywhere, obviously. But going forward, obviously, if you're doing it digitally, you'll be able to do it from any MNO or any bank in terms of ease of transfer.
Okay, thank you. We have a comment and question from TZ Mwakwani. It says, thank you. I have a ladies finance club and they all don't know the iTrust funds, especially the Iman one. What are the requirements for you to come give the group info? And do you sponsor sometimes or they need to sponsor themselves? Thank you. I have a ladies finance club and they all don't know the iTrust funds, especially the Iman one. What are the requirements for you to give the group info and do you sponsor sometimes or they need to sponsor themselves?
I think
Sorry, Prof, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I think I was just going to point out that iTrust does have a women's program, which we call WISE, Women in Investments and Securities Education, where we actually have been carrying out activities. I think Faze, maybe you would mention some, and Winnie, yourself, and Samia have been involved. You can say something about WISE.
Samia, maybe take us through a bit of WISE. Samia has been leading this trajectory of the WISE program. So Samia, please.
Okay, so WISE is in WISE, it is for women investing in securities education. We started this program to enhance the education to women, give them more empowerment to know about the capital market and investing in this financial assets. So we do hold Zoom meetings every now and then. If you can drop down your email, we can set a Zoom meeting with you to start with, and then you can always have a physical meeting as well to take you through all our products and investment in general.
We have also scheduled a couple of WISE webinars time to time. So please do drop in your contacts so we can reach out to you when we have these scheduled webinars.
Thank you. We welcome more questions, comments, any feedback. TZ Mwakwani, kindly drop your email to the hosts, please, and panelists, and then we can reach out to you. Thank you, TZ Mwakwani. We will reach out to you and we look forward to working with your ladies finance club. As they say, the more the merrier. All right, we'll give it a minute in case anyone has any questions, but after that, we would like to welcome the CEO. Oh, wait, we have another question. Maureen asks, I would appreciate more information on account opening for investors currently residing outside Tanzania and having some challenges with attaching some documents.
Maureen,
Maureen.
we can definitely assist you with that. I can assist you with that. How will I? Yeah, I did put your email over there. I will get in touch with you and assist you to open your account seamlessly today. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. We look forward to working with you, or rather, you working with iTrust Finance. We also have another question. When will you be able to facilitate purchasing cross-border equities like KCB from Kenya?
So we're currently in the works. However, you can purchase the XCB shares from the DSC as well. And we can facilitate the purchase on your behalf.
I think to add to what Azan mentioned, we have actually a regional desk at iTrust. The regional desk purpose is to allow investors to invest in all allowable regional markets. Allowable regional markets for Tanzanian investors is East African markets, stock exchanges, and SADC stock exchanges. So investors who want to invest in those, we do have a regional desk, which we started from last year. The regional desk started off with Kenya, Uganda, and we are adding other markets now. So any investor who wants to invest outside Tanzania, when they open an account with us, we can set them up for regional investing. So please feel free to talk to us on regional investing, and our regional desk is open for business, and we will be able to facilitate your account openings, your brokerage account openings in neighboring countries, your trade facilitation. We utilize the custodies through Stanbic Bank, and that will allow you to be able to buy shares in Kenya or Uganda. And we do currently have done a significant amount of investment in those markets. Secondly, we also have cross-listed shares on the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange. The cross-listed shares are, a couple of them are active, particularly KCB. And Jubilee. So if you look at our daily market report, sorry, was I lost?
Yes, we lost you from KCB.
Yeah.
We're talking about, yes.
Yeah, so the cross-listed shares are available. If you have an account with us in our brokerage, if you have onboarded with us, you can put in an order to buy KCB shares or at iTrust.
Thank you, Prof. All right, Karen, we've received your message, and we will look into making sure that you get assistance. All right. I think we have exhausted the questions. If there's any other one, please feel free to type it. But I think we appreciate everyone who logged into the call. I would now like to welcome the CEO, Mr. Faiz Arab, to close. Welcome, Faiz.
Thank you, Winnie. Once again, on behalf of iTrust board and management, I'd like to thank you all for joining this call. Please, I know there are a lot of questions. If there is anything, please do reach out to us. You have Samia here. She's our senior client relationship manager. Her and her team will definitely be more than happy to assist you with any of the further questions. Please do join for our next call for the webinar on Friday. This will be, the agenda obviously is going to be iDollar Fund. So if you have any questions on the iDollar Fund, please join this call, or any other questions, please do join in, and we will be more than happy to answer all your questions. So once again, thank you all for joining in today's call, and happy investing, guys. Thank you.